Hi, so welcome to the show. And this is kind of our first time connecting in person. I've been watching you on Facebook and loving your posts and what you're doing. And I feel like what you are doing is so unique. So if you could just start from there and sharing to the community what it is that you do for your service.
Absolutely. So my business is called Just Better Styling. I started it back in June, so it's a fairly new business. And the easiest way I describe it to people is kind of the what not to wear meets Marie Kondo meets Queer Eye of Fredericton. So
Cool.
yeah, and that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea. I call myself a style coach. So I go into people's homes and I go through their wardrobes and I help them decide what to keep, what to give away, teach them how to dress for their body, give them style education, give them style training. And I also do the other end, and I'll go shopping for people and I'll go shopping with people.
Oh, it sounds actually really liberating. Like for people to be able to have someone to be like, come here, I will help you.
Yeah. I kind of say it's like the personal trainer of style.
Awesome. So how did you know you had the calling to do this?
Well, I've been in the fashion industry for about 8 years. I worked at a high-end clothing store for 7 of those years. Part of that time was spent in sales, and part of it was spent in admin. That store sold men's and women's clothing, so I worked in both areas of fashion. So I really enjoyed that, but I've always been interested in becoming an entrepreneur. And I really was looking for something to challenge myself and also having an opportunity to help people. So I saw a woman doing this in another city. And when I saw her business model and how she was presenting this idea, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's what I want to do. So I did.
Yes. And how long have you been in business now?
Just over a little more than 3 months.
See, I find that so inspiring because I feel like for a lot of, I'd say women in general, because I feel like men are kind of taught more like you can be the entrepreneur or like your ideas are great, whereas for women, it's like the other side of things where we don't always hear that so much. So just taking that like leap.
Yes.
Sometimes the scariest thing.
It was very scary. I definitely experienced a lot of like self-doubt. I felt like, one of the things I struggled with is a lot of the stylists I've been watching and seeing on social media, we're all smaller. They're all, pretty trim people. And I, being about a size 12, I felt very intimidated looking at these women and thinking, oh, are people going to relate with me? Are they going to want to hear from someone that's a bigger person? Also struggling with, am I that stylish? Do I have things to offer people? And I'm really glad I pushed past all that and all that self-doubt, because I see now that my services are really needed in the city of Fredericton and beyond. And I've been helping so many men and women feel more confident about themselves and about their style. So I'm really glad I just kind of like pushed through all of that self-doubt and just went for it.
Yes. And I feel like I've seen you have a cool event coming up.
Yeah. So as a part of this whole process, I realized like I really, really am passionate about a couple of things. I love planning events. I love people, and I love networking. I'm kind of a self-professed networking addict.
Yay.
I am on the board for the Chamber of Commerce. I'm on the board for Women in Business. I go to pretty much every networking event I can make. So I'm hosting an event. So I'm sponsoring it at the Tipsy Muse, and it's called Tips and Sips at the Tipsy Muse, and it's just a night to network. And I have a special guest speaker coming from Moncton, a woman named Sarah Duquette. Her brand is Boho and Braids, and she's a full-time fashion blogger and Instagram influencer. So she's coming down from Moncton to tell us a little bit about what it's like to be an Instagram influencer and what her day-to-day life looks like and how she got into that.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. it's nice to like find someone that like has inspired you in that way to like bring
Oh,
them to something that you're also doing.
yeah, she inspired me so much because she did not know who I was at all. I was following her on Instagram, and when I decided to start this business, oh, there's a lot of noise there. When I decided to start this business, I just reached out to a bunch of different business people that I admired and asked them to have coffee with me just to try to get as much information as I could. So I reached out to her on Instagram. She didn't know who I was. I was a complete random, and she booked a lunch date with me, and I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness, my social media icon has agreed to have lunch with me.
Yeah.
So I drove to Moncton and I met her, and she was amazing. And then I like just kind of was like, would you ever consider coming to Fredericton and speaking at an event? And she said, absolutely. And so I jumped on it and was like, you're coming. Here's the date. We're doing it.
So great. So for someone who maybe has never had someone come into their home or has had someone help them with styling, where would you tell them to start? What should they look at first?
So do you mean like to start building their style and building their wardrobe?
Yeah, like so they can start kind of on their own, and
Yeah.
also like how can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the first things that I do with my clients is we go through the wardrobe and we decide what to sorry.
Bless me.
Yeah. We decide what to keep and what to give away. And so I always do that process with kind of like 5 criteria in mind. So one of them is, does it fit you properly? So trying the item on and, does it fit current you properly? This is something a lot of women especially struggle with, is that we fluctuate in our weights. And something I recommend to people, there's a couple things I recommend in that situation because I'm in that boat. I fluctuate 10 pounds here or there, so my size changes. And what I do is I take items that I really, really love that maybe don't fit me, and I put them in a separate area from my closet. And if in 6 months I have not taken those items out, then I give them away. So
yes.
That's one of the first things you need to start with is the fit. So if it doesn't fit you, but you love it, put it away, but put a time limit on it. Don't just say, oh, I'm just going to keep it forever. Say to yourself, well, if in 6 months I haven't worn this yet, I'm gonna give it to someone else that can appreciate it.
Yes.
Once you've kind of decided if your items fit you, then I always look at the style. Does the current style match what your current style is or what you're trying to achieve in your style? Does it match your lifestyle? So that's kind of the other criteria we look at. We look at, is it functional in your wardrobe? Do you have things to wear with it? If you don't have things to wear with it, it doesn't work with your current wardrobe, are you willing to purchase things to go with that? And if you're not, if you don't love it that much, then you need to let it go.
Yes.
We also look at the age of the item. So is it worn? Is it got holes in it? Is the item pilling? Like, it's really easy to hold on to things you love just because you love them, but when they're starting to show their age, you're just not going to look put together. You're not going to look professional if your item has holes in it, or all the fabric's pilling and it looks really, really nasty, right? So that's the next criteria. And the last criteria, and maybe the most important criteria, is do you love it? Do you love it? Because so many times people say, oh, I bought this, I paid a lot of money for it, and it still has tags on it, and I like it, but every time I put it on, I just, it's kind of tight here, and I don't really like it, and well, then you don't love it. And so kind of the whole purpose of this process is to pare down your wardrobe to really items you only love and actually work for you, fit you, and work for your wardrobe and for your life. And so you kind of get rid of all that physical clutter, but also a lot of emotional clutter at the same time. So I'd say that's the best place to start. Start with what you have. Start really thinking about what items you have in your wardrobe before you go out and start buying new items.
Getting rid of the ones that you don't love and that emotional baggage would be
Yeah.
so freeing. And then you'd have all this space to like look for different clothes now.
Exactly. It really frees you up to actually go out shopping and shop happily, because you're like, I don't have all this stuff that I'm not wearing, and I'm looking for specific pieces to round out my wardrobe and make it more functional. So it's very freeing, and a lot of my clients have experienced that freedom, and they've said, like, you know, I just feel so much lighter now that I've gone through that process.
And who is like your ideal clientele?
Cool. So that's an interesting one. I've got that question a lot lately, and I have clients that are in their 20s. I have clients that are in their 50s. I have clients that are business professionals. I have clients that are stay-at-home moms. I work with men, I work with women. So my ideal client is really just anyone that wants to feel more confident and more put together. And so, you know, that can be someone that's had a baby and is trying to figure out how to dress their new body. Maybe it's a busy working professional that just doesn't have time to focus on their wardrobe and wants someone to take care of the details and make it easy for them. There's a lot of different reasons that people come to me, but in the end, I think people come to me because they're kind of fed up. They're tired of, you know, trying different things to figure out their style and failing.
Yeah.
And very frustrated. So when they finally do hire me, they're just ready for a change.
And that is something that we aren't taught. Like,
No.
Here, wear this. Like, you just kind of look at clothes and see if you like it, or trial and error, or like look at what someone else is wearing, see if you like that.
Yeah. And a lot of times people end up with a wardrobe, and, you know, especially women, I hear it all the time. They say they walk into their wardrobe, they have their wardrobe's full of clothing, but they always feel like they have nothing to wear.
Yes, it's such a common thing to say. I say that.
So common, because people have picked up so many different items, but none of them really go together, or they do go together, but they just don't really know how to put them together. And so they end up wearing the same like 5 outfits over and over and over again, because they just don't know what else to do. And they don't, you know, and I come in and I show you how to put together new outfits, how to dress in different ways that you might have never thought to dress like, and really kind of just give you that confidence in your personal style that you've been looking for.
How did you find your style?
So I was interesting in that I grew up and I was quite overweight in my childhood. So I wanted to look put together, and it was a little bit more difficult because my body was a little bit more challenging. So it was something I worked on a lot as a teen and into adulthood. Like, I was constantly looking at styles and figuring out what would look good on my body. And then working at a high-end retail store for so many years, I was exposed to so much, you know, fashion and trends and what was popular. And I just delved into it a lot. So that's kind of how I found my personal style. And I find personal style is always evolving. You know, you're gonna, for a season, you might love a certain look. You might love, like for me right now, I love like that rock star chic look, you know, a graphic t-shirt and a boyfriend blazer, an awesome pair of jeans, and a kick-ass pair of heels. That's my jam right now. But, you know, you look at pictures of me from 5 years ago, and I loved cute little girly skirts, and I was very cutesy and girly, but I loved it at that time. And so I think as you get older, as your life changes, you're drawn to different styles. And I don't think you should ever hem yourself in or tell yourself that this is your style or you can only dress a certain way. I incorporate a lot of different styles into my looks. I just like having fun. Just have fun with it. And once you learn the basics and you learn how to pair things together, you can really combine all types of genres together into a fusion of style.
Like, I can picture you like traveling with someone just to be like, here's all the outfits you should wear for this, and here's the thing you should have for this, like just really making life easier.
Yeah, well, one of my clients I worked with, she's a real estate agent, and she just had no time for it. And so I purged her wardrobe. We got rid of everything that just doesn't work for her anymore. And then I went and purchased everything for her, brought it to her home, and she decided what she wanted to keep based off her budget. And so we got her a whole new wardrobe, and she didn't even leave her home.
Oh
But
my gosh.
she says she goes everywhere and she keeps getting compliment after compliment from people about how different she looks and how great she looks. And she's like, you know, I didn't have to do anything. I just sat there and, you know, I just took care of everything for her.
Yeah, that's so great. It's such a great service. So do you think you'll do a few other events as well? And where can people find you? Like, do you have a website or Facebook page so they can follow along?
Absolutely. So I'm big into social media. I have an Instagram account and a Facebook account. I'm really easy to find because somehow I lucked out and none of the handles were taken. So all of my handles are Just Better Styling. So if you search Just Better Styling on Instagram or Facebook, you'll find me. And then I have a full website, justbetterstyling.com.
And I love that name because it just says it all.
Yeah, it's just simple. I wanted it to be very simple, very straightforward. Just Better Styling, and I will be doing more events. So the first one is just the Tips and Sips at the Tipsy Moose on October 15th. I have a bunch of links on my personal page and on my business page. And I have a page started for the Tips and Sips. And if you're looking for different events and different networking events that I'll be sponsoring, you can go like that page, Tips and Sips Fredericton.
Mm-hmm. And I guess one final question I have as well is, like, for women or men or anyone in general who are interested in starting their own business, what is some like word of wisdom or tip that you would share with them?
I would say the biggest thing is there is a lot of really great programs to help you get started. They're just not well advertised. 100% go to Planet Hatch. They have so many resources to help you get started. Like, that should be your first stop is Planet Hatch. You can just send them an email, make a meeting, and they will help you with every step along the way. And then the other great resource is the CBDC. You can get funding. I'm applying for a program right now that they give me support for 50 weeks while I build my business. And so they have a lot of resources, they have a lot of knowledge. So Planet Hatch, CBDC, and then the other really, really big thing, and I think this is the reason my business has taken off so well in the past few months, is network. Join as many networking organizations as you can. The Fredericton Chamber of Commerce is amazing. You can join the startup category. It's about $100 for the year. They put on at least 2 networking events a month. So you'll go and you'll meet so many business people from all around the community. And really, when you're starting a business, that is the best way to get started, is just to network, get your face out there, get all the people in the business community getting to know who you are, what you're all about. And then when you start the business, people already know who you are. And now you're just starting a business, and then people are like on board, and everyone's sharing it, and everyone's on board because they already are sold on who you are. And now they're sold on your business.
I'm like high-fiving you from here. That was so good. I'm like, good tip. Yes. Because that's how I am. Like, yeah, I like people's businesses because I like them. Like, even if I'm like, I don't even know if I need the service, like, I will book something because I love you and what you're doing. I'm going to share it. Like, go you.
Absolutely. I mean, not like, I'd say 90% of your business is about selling who you are. And then it just kind of goes from there. So I think networking is one of the best ways you can get started. And I think a lot of people are scared to network, but networking events are made for you to walk up to a random group of people, introduce yourself, and ask them who you are. It's the only social situation where that is like 100% expected and encouraged. So when you go to a networking event, you don't have to be scared, and don't stand off in the corner. Just walk up to a group of people, introduce yourself. And if you're having a bad conversation, just tell them, hey, I'm trying to meet as many people as possible. I'm going to go talk to that group over there. Like, it's that easy. And that's why I love networking events so much, because it's just such a great way to meet and make contacts.
Yes, that's great. So thank you so much for your time and for coming on the show today, and for your energy. It was great speaking with you. I'm going to keep watching all your stuff.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye-bye.